joining us now. We talked about some coaching news in the A's with Dana Holgerson on his way to Houston. Earlier, Mark Richt had announced his retirement, and Manny Diaz is going to join us in a minute, takes over. You played for Mark Richt. What was your reaction? What did you think when you heard that Coach Richt was retired?
Well, you saw the AD come out after the game, and it was pretty strong words. He didn't mince words. And you could tell something was missing in Miami. I think, listen, you had some highs. You had some good moments where you thought the program was about to turn around and go in a big direction. Championship caliber defenses the last couple of years just couldn't get together offensively. And I'm not surprised it went like this because Coach Richt's the type of guy that didn't make it a fuss and went away, and probably could have went away kicking and screaming and made this a bigger deal than it was. But now you bring in a guy like Manny, and the program's in a great spot.
So Miami moved very quickly to bring back their defensive coordinator, who just taken the head coaching job at Temple. Against Miami pilfering Temple for a head coach once again, hoping this time this one actually turns up golden. Manny came up with a turnover chain. DC for the Canes less than 3 weeks ago took that job. He's a city of Miami guy. His dad was once the mayor there. He has been the mayor of defense, and he heads back to Coral Gables. A big problem for Miami has been the offense, though, against Power 5 opponents. Since that 10-0 start last year, they had the Canes in contention for a college football playoff spot. Power 5, next to worst in scoring and QBR. Only the State University of New Jersey has been below Miami in those categories. We're pleased to be joined by the new head coach of the Hurricanes, Manny Diaz. So, Manny, certainly an unusual situation. When were you first approached by Miami about coming back?
It all happened very quickly. It was really the middle of the day Sunday when I found out that Coach Richt retired. That was a shocking, pill to swallow. It was out of nowhere. I don't think anybody expected it. And then it was really a rapid succession of events that no one could have predicted, how it happened, and it was able to be turned around very quickly, and 48 hours later, here we are.
What was the most difficult part of making that decision as quickly as you'd taken the head coaching job to go back to what obviously is a dream job for you?
Yeah, it's you don't feel good about it. It's an issue we have with our calendar because unfortunately job changing season matches with recruiting season. So there's always this urgency to make these changes happen very quickly, and the changes, of course, don't always occur at the same time, and it's hard to do right by everybody. But this was the one. I mean, there's no other job that could come open. This is the one scenario that if it had broken this way, and that's why it was remarkable how it happened. I will say this about Temple. They have an outstanding athletic director in Pat Kraft. They've got a locker room with a team that's ready to compete for the championship this next year. Whoever gets that next job at Temple is going to win, and there's a lot of great things coming up for the Owls.
Hey, man, let's go back to Miami. You grew up around the area. You know Miami inside and out, growing up as a youngster, and went to Florida State, around Bobby Bowden, Chuck Amato. You're very familiar with that state. And the bar's been raised, not just with Miami and Florida State. You got UCF that's playing good football and everything that Charlie Strong's trying to do in Tampa. What's missing? How can Miami get back to the consistency of being a perennial power, not just in the ACC, but nationally? What do you got to do?
That's a great question, and I go back to what we did defensively when we got here 3 years ago. We had to change the culture, and we had to put in a defensive scheme that allowed our guys to play like Miami Hurricanes, and that visual, goes back to the 80s, and there was a certain style of play which really starts in youth football down here in South Florida. The way the kids are trained, the way they're taught, the way that high school football is down here. For Miami to be successful, everyone knows that there's great athletes down here. Every college in the country comes down here to try to pilfer them away from us. But you got to let the guys go, and you got to let the guys play the way they've played since, they were 6 years old, out on the fields down here in South Florida. So, we try to create a culture of playing fast, tough, violent, things that just are embedded in the youth football here. And now it's important that we expand that to the entire culture of the entire football team, that offensively, special teams, defensively, it reflects what a Miami Hurricane should look like. And that's a big statement because that's a very high standard that was set by some outstanding coaches and players that came through here many moons ago.
Manny, you're obviously very familiar with the strain that the offensive difficulties that Miami has put on the Hurricanes defense. With that in mind, what are you looking for in an offensive coordinator? What will it look like stylistically and schematically?
Well, if you think about it, what we are on defense and what we've created on defense, it would only stand to reason you'd want to create the same thing on offense. So you want a defense that's aggressive. You want a defense that's attacking. You want a defense that causes problems for the other team. Defense that is simple enough where the kids can play fast. Well, philosophically, then you should want your offense to be the same way. We want something that's aggressive, attacking, that creates mental stress for the defense that we're playing. I will say I've been humbled and really blown away by the potential offense coordinators that have reached out, and I'm very excited about the hire that we're going to be able to make, and I think it's going to be a major shot in the arm to the kids in the locker room, to the kids that we've already have signed in the early signing day period, and the kids that we're still going to recruit here leading up to February.
I can't think of anything better than for you to announce the hire right now, so go ahead.
Not so. Hey, can I steal this line? Not so fast.
Hey, Manny, congratulations. I wish you all the best in Miami. Look forward to seeing you soon.
Reese, guys, thank you so much. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, Manny Diaz, the new.
It's a good try.
New head coach.
Yeah, it's good.
Hey, you got to try.
You got to swing.
That's what he said. He was talking about playing aggressively, and like you've been coached all the time. So let's go. I just worry we're going to have to give the Bear a raise to make sure that he's not, director of football ops down there at Miami.
Exactly.
Bear, Miami graduate, close to the program. You know it well. What do you think of the hire?
It's under the situation, the circumstances that you've got, it probably worked out about as good as it could. Bringing back a guy who, it almost felt like Manny leaving to go to Temple to be a head coach was almost like go be a head coach for a couple of years and then come back when Mark Richt is ready to retire. So I think it kind of sped up the process. But I think if you look at where they are recruiting and all the decommits that they had probably as a result of Manny leaving.
Hey,
yes, sir.
Bear, the crowd, the fan base. What kind of offense do they want to run? Because they're talking about they got a good enough defense.
No, they're going to want something that is pass-based oriented. I don't know if they're going to want full-blown air raid like a lot of teams, but maybe something like Larry Fedora, North Carolina, great offensive mind. He could be someone that you might want to look at as coordinator.
Why are you smirking?
What? Why am I smirking? I'm just throwing names out there. I don't know anything.
By the end of this show, Bear's gonna get Fedora to Miami's South coordinator. I'm gonna have Rodriguez at West Virginia say,
we all get some percentages. It'll be good.
Bear and I were talking about this yesterday. Miami will need some balance, but I think he's right. Fedora type thing, even the type of offense that Oklahoma State has run recently, where it's an air raid base, but you're able to run the ball out of it too.
Yeah,
fit the
I
talent.
think with the tradition there, I agree. Some kind of air raid, but with the physicality,
right.
Because they can recruit running backs that are NFL caliber running backs. I love hearing Manny Diaz talking about Pee Wee football. I mean, this is a young head coach. Great, by the way, great Pee Wee football coach. If you're looking, I get excited. Anybody looking for a great Pee Wee football coach? This guy right here. Honestly, and living down there.
Yeah.
Pee Wee football down there,
Yeah.
and it breeds a different competitor
Yeah.
into middle school and then into high school. And the fact he's already plugged into that
exactly.
tells you how he's going to recruit.
Yeah.
He's going to be aggressive down there.
You got to check out Liberty City. It's on Stars, and Luke has produced it. It gives you a great, just a great view into like little league football in Miami. So that's great that he's plugged in there. But to me, they've missed on quarterbacks for years now. That's the biggest issue. You got to get a quarterback. And there's like this big perception down there that if you can just recruit Florida, you're okay. My man Nick Saban went to Hawaii to get a quarterback. Hawaii. I mean, you got to go outside the state. There's great talent there, but you have to go outside the state of Florida if you're going to start competing nationally. I'm not even worried about the ACC. You want to compete nationally, so that's the biggest thing. They got to get a quarterback.
Your boy UCF down there too. They went to Hawaii too.
Yeah, UCF did the same thing exactly.
But Manny's defense has been great. It is about the quarterback. So it's got to be a name when we start talking about these names. It's the coaches that develop the quarterbacks. It's these coaches that make quarterbacks look great, like Cliff Kingsbury, who went to USC. Like, you need to find a name like that, a guy, an up-tempo guy. He always has good quarterback play. There's a lot of guys out there you can do that for, and Larry Fedora is a name that we will probably
we go back to Ken Dorsey being the last great Miami. And Ken was great, kind of a game manager. Yeah. But when was the last time they had like an NFL caliber first rounder?
That's what I'm talking about.
Right.
Yeah.
Testaverde, maybe.
We saw Toretto won the Heisman. It wasn't that level in terms of the pros. By the way, Manny Diaz and Miami open the season next year against the Gators.
Hey,
that's a good way to get your feet wet.
It's old head coach. He's working.
Yeah, Mullen. That's right. Mississippi.